Chicago Fire was smart to postpone the Stellaride adoption. Here's why. Chicago Fire likes to tell stories at a measured pace. It's been on for nearly a decade and a half, so it can afford to take its time. We've seen romances take seasons to gestate, engagements take months to result in marriages, and development ebb and flow depending on where a given character is at in their lives. The latest example of this practice was applied to Stellaride. The beloved couple, made up of Stella Kidd, Miranda Ray Mayo, and Kelly Severide, Taylor Kinney, were on the cusp of adopting a baby in the season 13 episode, Cut Me Open. Once the baby was born, however, the birth mother decided that she wanted to keep it. Stellaride was crushed by this decision, but the delayed gratification of seeing the couple become parents has led us to step back and ask, are they ready? Does the show think they are ready? Kidd and Severide have balked at the notion of raising kids several times in the past. Then once it was decided that they were all in, they decided to adopt. A conversation that took place during the Cut Me Open episode, however, led us to think twice. The couple were told the baby they wanted to adopt had opioids in its system due to the addiction problems of its mother, and there was a moment where Severide was unsure whether he wanted to take on such a big responsibility. He reminded Kidd that they have extremely busy schedules and could struggle to give the baby the attention and care it needed if both of them continued to work at Firehouse 51. It's the most shaken we've seen either character since they decided adoption was the right move for them. Kidd took the opposing stance and insisted that they had what it took to be good parents and firefighters. Kidd and Severide are two of the most confident and assured characters on Chicago Fire, so it's nice to see them take precaution and seriously interrogate such a huge step in their personal lives. We've no doubt that they will become parents. Heck, Firehouse 51 went out and bought them a car seat and a bunch of toys for when they do. When Kidd and Severide do become parents, it will all the more impactful because we felt the emotional pain of them narrowly missing out and watched them second-guess whether they'd be ready. We cannot wait to see the promise of this storyline eventually come to fruition. Stellaride aren't parents, and it was brutal to see them be crushed by the news that they would not be taking the baby home. But we think it was actually a smart choice on the part of Chicago Fire's writers. Not only did the decision to prolong the adoption mean that there will be more drama to wring out of future episodes, but it gave Stellaride time to reflect and reconsider, again, if it was the right call for them. In the high-stakes, emotionally charged world of Chicago Fire, timing is everything. Lives hang in the balance every episode, but sometimes it's the quieter, character-driven decisions that have the most lasting impact. Such was the case with the postponed adoption storyline for Stella Kidd and Kelly Severide, affectionately known by fans as Stellaride. While many viewers were eager to see the beloved couple expand their family, Chicago Fire made a smart strategic decision by holding off on the adoption storyline. This delay wasn't just good storytelling, it was necessary character development and a deeply respectful move for the arc of two of the show's most complex leads. First, let's consider the state of Stellaride's relationship leading up to the proposed adoption. While their love for each other has always been undeniable, their journey has been anything but smooth. Kelly, with his checkered past and tendency to disappear on sudden missions, sometimes with very little communication, has left Stella questioning where she stands on more than one occasion. Meanwhile, Stella's fierce independence and unwavering dedication to her career have led to moments of friction. These aren't flaws, they're realistic aspects of any marriage, especially one involving two first responders with demanding schedules and traumatic job experiences. So when talk of adoption came up, some fans rejoiced, but others hesitated. Was this truly the right time? Were they in the emotional place to take on such a permanent, life-changing responsibility? The truth is, adoption isn't just a plot device. It's a profound, lifelong commitment, and Chicago Fire treated it with the gravity it deserved by pressing pause. Allowing Stellaride to first navigate their own internal relationship challenges before expanding their family shows a level of narrative maturity that many shows don't always achieve. From a dramatic standpoint, postponing the adoption also allows the show to explore richer, more meaningful storytelling. Rather than rush into a feel-good resolution, Chicago Fire made the brave choice to let things simmer. Kelly's recent work with OFI, Office of Fire Investigation, and his extended absences created a natural tension between his professional obligations and personal aspirations. Stella, having recently taken command of Truck 81, has been juggling her own leadership pressures. These storylines deserved time and space to breathe. Throwing a child into the mix prematurely would have risked glossing over vital character beats. More importantly, this decision honored Stella's own growth. For years, she's fought to prove herself in a male-dominated profession, pushing back against doubts, sexism, and burnout. Her trajectory from firefighter to leader was hard-won, and to pivot suddenly into motherhood, particularly through adoption, which carries its own unique emotional weight, could have risked undermining her autonomy if not handled with extreme care. By postponing the adoption, the show ensured that Stella wouldn't be reduced to a maternal stereotype, but instead could fully own both her professional and personal narratives. Let's not forget the broader thematic framework of Chicago Fire. At its heart, the show is about chosen family. 51 isn't just a firehouse, it's a support system, a surrogate home, a living, breathing entity shaped by its members. By giving Stellaride time to deepen their bond within this firehouse family, the writers can organically explore what family means to them before bringing a child into the equation. Perhaps the most beautiful adoption stories are the ones that emerge not from a desire to fill a void, but from a genuine overflow of love and stability. That's what the show seems to be aiming for, and rightly so. Postponing the adoption also opens the door for future emotional payoffs. Imagine the evolution. Kelly finally choosing to prioritize stability over adventure. Stella confronting the vulnerability that comes with letting someone new into her heart, and both of them reflecting on their own childhood wounds. These are story arcs that require time. They're not just about signing paperwork or decorating a nursery. They're about trust, healing, and sacrifice, core themes of Chicago Fire. In a more meta sense, the delay also reflects a newfound respect for real-world timing. Adoption is not instantaneous. It involves assessments, emotional preparation, legalities, and oftentimes, heartbreak. By mirroring that reality, Chicago Fire is signaling to its audience that it takes such themes seriously. The writers are not using adoption as a feel-good season finale stunt, but as a journey worthy of investment. And viewers can tell the difference. Some fans might worry that delaying the adoption risks making Stellaride seem stagnant or indecisive, but that interpretation misses the point. They are, in fact, evolving, but in a way that feels earned. Instead of layering one big life change over another just for the sake of drama, the show is taking the time to show how real couples navigate these decisions. That's not boring, that's powerful. That's storytelling with integrity. Plus, from a production standpoint, holding off on the adoption allows for more suspense and audience engagement. What kind of child would they adopt? An older foster teen with a backstory? A younger child who lost a parent in a fire? A relative's child they take in unexpectedly? Each possibility opens different dramatic avenues and moral questions, especially in a show that so often grapples with ethics and heroism. Giving the audience time to speculate and the writers time to lay groundwork makes for better television. In the end, what makes Chicago Fire great is its ability to balance action with heart. Fire rescues and hazmat scenes may dominate the screen, but it's the relationships that keep us coming back. Stellaride's adoption journey, when it finally does happen, will be all the more impactful for this delay. It will be a choice made not out of desperation or narrative convenience, but out of strength, stability, and mutual understanding. That's the kind of story that resonates. That's the kind of payoff that sticks with us. So yes, Chicago Fire was smart to postpone the Stellaride adoption. It wasn't just a creative decision, it was a respectful one. One that honors the characters, the process, and the audience. And when the time finally does come, it'll be all the more meaningful.